So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janamanaba Hirivarudaguti. Gopi Janamanaba Hirivarudaguti. Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Dana Ballabha Hiribaradhare Hiribaradhare Gopi Dana Ballabha Hiribaradhare Hiribaradhare Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Banachari Yamuna Tera Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravatikacharya also Teta Sajashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Chalanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shirohira Stakuru Kiche. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidway Gadadha Shivasiti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Kichai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Sayam Makunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kichai Vrindavanam Kichai Machuradam Kichai Jagadata Swami Kichai Yamunamai Kichai Shimari Lasi Devi Kichai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Kichai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Samari Chiramani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Deja Tarane. Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're reading from the 47th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, text 68. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktya Naradipa Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathurang Krishna Palatam. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radipa Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radipa Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radipa Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radipa Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Evam Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radhika Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Sabhajato Gopai Krishna Bhaktyan Radhika Uddhava Punar Agachan Mathuram Krishna Palatam. Evam, thus, Sabhajata, shown honor, Gopai, by the cowards, Krishna Bhaktya, with devotion for Krishna, Nala Adapa, a ruler of men, Parikshit, Uddhava, Puna, again. Agachat, returned. Mathurang, to Mathura. Krishna Palatam, which was being protected by Lord Krishna. So translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O ruler of men, thus honored by the coward men with expressions of devotion for Lord Krishna, Uddhava went back to the city of Mathura, which was under Krishna's protection. You can repeat. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O ruler of men, thus honored by the coward men with expressions of devotion for Lord Krishna, Uddhava went back to the city of Mathura, which was under Krishna's protection. So purport by the followers of his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. The word Krishna Palatam indicates that even though Uddhava became quite attached to the land of Vrindavana, he returned to Mathura because Sri Krishna was personally displaying his transcendental pastimes there. So, the verse, Evam Savajito Gopai Krishna Bhakja Naradapa Uddhava Punaragachan Matharam Krishna Palatang. So, Om Gana Tividanda Shakadanjana Shlakaya Chakshur Miditam Yena Tasmai Shigadavena Maha. So, first I'll read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the other commentaries here, because his is very interesting. Now, Uddhava was they're all interesting, of course. Though Uddhava was very attracted to Braj, being fully devoted to Krishna, he returned to Mathura, which was protected by Krishna. And here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says something very interesting. Shukadeva intends to criticize Krishna here. So that, there's actually a sarcastic statement in this particular verse. Mathura is protected by Krishna, but what about Vrindavan? For if he is protecting Mathura, why does he not also protect by Braja by coming there? Very interesting statement. And in this regard, I'd like to really start talking about Shukadeva Goswami's ontological position and give some Shastric reference for that, which is really, in my mind, it's quite interesting. So there's ontology. So we all know that Shukadeva Goswami is a great devotee of Srimati Radharani, and everybody knows the story of why Shukadeva Goswami did not recite Srimati Radharani's name. But I have some Shastric reference because he was afraid. Obviously, let me just continue with that because I'm jumping ahead. So, because he didn't want to go into trance at that particular point. But there's actually Shastric reference for this. It's not just a story. It's from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And here's the verse. It's mentioned, Shri Radha Nam Matrena Murcha San Masiki Bhavet No Cha Reta Mataspashtam Parikshit Hit Krin Munihi. That's from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. He said, and this is specifically the explanation, when Shukadeva Goswami uttered the name of Srimati Radhika, he would at once remember her pastimes. Due to his Radha Prema, so he's a great devotee of Srimati Radharani, he would have become Avishta Chitta, which means excited and fixed in remembering her pastimes and activities in the service of Krishna. And it's described in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana that in this way he would have become internally absorbed on Krishna and inert for 6 months. And that would not have worked out. But Shukadeva Goswami only had 7 days to go. And actually, this really was the 7th day when he was talking, 6th or 7th day when he was talking about Krishna's pastimes. It was the last days of the Bhagavatam recital. So, also in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we have Sanatana Goswami stating about Shukadev Goswami. These are such interesting quotes that I found. Srimati Radhika was the worshipful goddess of Shukadev Goswami. So whenever he uttered her name, he would become, again, that avishta chitta, internally spiritually excited and externally inert. And this is all from the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he is given the name of Radhika and other gopis in a hidden way. And here's a verse from the Bhagavatam. With some of the commentaries, really interesting. Friend, this is actually from the 11th canto, 21st verse, text 35. Where, actually, yeah, what is it? Veda Brahmatam Visyas, Tri Kanda Vishya Ime, Paroksha Vada, Rikshya, Paroksham Mama Chapriyam. And Krishna says the Vedas divide into three divisions, ultimately reveal the living entities, the pure spirit soul. The Vedas, seers, and mantras, however, deal in esoteric terms, and I am pleased by such confidential descriptions. So this is actually interesting, that Krishna becomes pleased when something is actually explained in esoteric terms, especially something that is so confidential, that's not really open to everybody. You know, there's a reason that these things are confidential, because it's basically no one's business. Like Prabhupada, you know, there's an example I give about Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was asked one time about, do you ever feel intense separation from your spiritual master? And Prabhupada replied, that question you do not need to ask. And I was listening to a class this morning that Prabhupada was giving us doing my deity worship, where Prabhupada said that if you just meet someone for the first time, you don't start asking him about his family and his intimate relationships with his family, with his wife, or Prabhupada even said girlfriend or lover. Prabhupada said lover, not girlfriend. So these are very confidential subject matters. Now, of course, Parikshit Maharaj was on that level, but obviously a lot of the sages were not on that level when he was reciting the banks of the Ganges. So anyway, so Shukadev Goswami in the Bhagavatam, 10:30:28, which we actually covered already, he used the word Radhito, which basically is a hidden name of Radharani. It means she who worships Krishna. And it's interesting. Here's another verse. You find Radharani's name hidden in many places in the Bhagavatam. In second canto, 4th chapter, text 14, Shukadev Goswami uses the word Radhasa to indicate Krishna's unequal opulence, and he uses this as an indirect reference to Radharani. Interesting, isn't it? Whoops, wait a second, I don't want to miss some of these things. So he uses many, many words. You know, and in verse 10:29:5 of the Bhagavatam, he used the words kaschit doham hitwa, and in 10:30:26 uses the words tais tai padasim verse, and the words yam yam gopi aniyat in verse 10:30:35. The words, so these words are all, they indicate Radharani indirectly. So Vadar Anta Vyapate. So he's giving different verses that each of these quotes denote Radharani and the other gopis. So anyway, so Sanatana Goswami actually, this is all from Sanatana Goswami revealing this. And also, there is the story, you know, Shri Shuka Vacha. Shuka means Shriya Shuka, Orte Shuka, the parrot of Srimati Radharani. And also there's the quote from the Ananda Vrindavan Champu by Kavi Karnapur, where he explains that previously Shukadev Goswami was the parrot of Radharani and used to sit on Radharani's left hand while she would feed him the seeds from pomegranate fruit. Pretty far out, isn't it? She would affectionately be telling him, Bolo Krishna, Krishna. Then this parrot would sweetly utter the names of Krishna. Wow. And then, there's the story. Once he flew into Nandagram when he began singing Krishna, Krishna as sweetly as Srimati Radhika. And Krishna noticed the parrots in the pomegranate tree and said, please speak some more. Then the parrot began to lament, oh, I'm so wretched, and Sanskrit, akrita ya, means basically, akrita, bad activities and no knowledge. Ungrateful because I was sitting in the hand of Srimati Radharani herself, and she was feeding me pomegranate seeds, milk, and rice. She was teaching me how to sing Krishna, Krishna very swiftly, but I flew away and have come here, so I'm very unfortunate. So in other words, he's considered himself very unfortunate because he left Radharani and he's with Krishna. So you can see he's fixed in his service to Srimati Radharani. It's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. So then Krishna took the parrot in his hand, began to fondle it. And in the meantime, the Lita and Vishaka came and said, the parrot belongs to Radharani. She cannot live without it. Please give it to us, and we will return it to her. And Krishna replied, if it's really hers, then when you call it, it will come to you. And Sakis, if he is not really hers, then he will not come to you. They tried to call the parrot, but it would not come. Then they began scolding Krishna, saying, whatever comes to you never gets returned to its rightful owner. Next, they explained to Mother Yashoda and explained the situation. And Yashoda snatched the parrot away from Krishna, saying, you're always doing nothing but playing with animals and birds. It's time for your bath. Your father wants to take his meal, but without you he cannot take it, so come at once. Then she gave the parrot to Lita and Vishaka and dragged Krishna away. And before Radha and Krishna returned to Goloka Vrindavan, they told the parrot, you must remain in this world to propagate the Srimad Bhagavatam. The parrot began to weep, and they both told him, except for you, there's no qualified person to manifest the Bhagavatam. So in other words, that's the story of Shukadev Goswami. There's actually much more here. The interaction between Lord Shiva and Shukadev Goswami. See, wow. So I mean, I have a lot more about him, but I actually want to speak about another subject matter in relationship to the class too. So another point being mentioned here is Uddhava leaving Vrindavan and going back to Mathura. I wanted to cover this subject matter. So, just like Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, and I'm going to give some quotes to verify this, Uddhava is always present in Vrindavan too, because he's a Brajavasi, because he's present as grass under the feet of the gopis, because that's his prayer. So he is Nitya Parshada, an associate of the Lord in Vrindavan, and also in Mathura. And you actually see this in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. You find Gopakumar running into Narada Muni in various abodes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he explains that his different devotees, that Krishna's different devotees can actually be simultaneously in different abodes. So this is verified about Krishna never leaving Vrindavan in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita by Srila Rupa Goswami, and also quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Anchalila 167 of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this, of course, is in the context of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talking to Rupa Goswami when Rupa Goswami is composing his poetry, the Lita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava, but at that point it was just like one poem or one drama poem. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained you have to divide it into two. Also, Rupa Goswami had that message in a dream when he went through Satyabhama Pura, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corroborated that. And he stated to Rupa Goswami, the Krishna known as Yadu Kumar is Vasudeva Krishna. He is different from the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yadu Kumar, Krishna, manifests his pastimes in the cities of Mathura and Dwarka, but Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, never at any time leaves Vrindavan. And also, I can apply this to his Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada too. Never at any time did he leave Vrindavan. And Rupa Goswami writes in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita about the same subject matter. He writes, to give pleasure to his loving associates and even to relish his own wonderful pastimes, Krishna manifested in Braj, Vrindavan, because the parental love of Nanda and Yashoda, is without parallel. Lord Krishna eternally thinks himself their son. In ancient times, devotees revealed that the Lord appeared in his Vasudeva expansion at the home of King Vasudeva. And at the same time, he appeared in his original form in the village of Braj. It was thus said, this is Rupa Goswami explained in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. At the same time, he appeared in the original form in the village of Braj. It is thus said that when Shri Krishna and Yogamaya were the twin children of Yashoda in Brajabhumi, when Maharaj Vasudeva arrived there, he entered Yashoda's maternity room and seen only Yashoda's daughter. Then Vasudeva expansion that King Vasudeva had brought with him from Mathura, King Vasudeva, sorry, didn't pronounce it properly, from Mathura, entered the body of the original Sri Krishna who had just taken birth as the son of Yashoda. In this way, the two forms of Vasudeva and Krishna became one. Because this pastime is very confidential, it is not conveyed in Srimad Bhagavatam and other texts. Nevertheless, Shukadeva Goswami and other great devotees have indirectly described it in their writings. So another verse from the Yamala Tantra, which is quoted also in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Vrindavanam putjaja paramekam nagachati. Prabhupada actually quotes this verse, which means Krishna does not leave even by a step. He does not even leave Vrindavan by a step. So, another point about this. Yeah, now just one more verse, and then I'm going to get to another subject matter. And verse from the Brahma Samhita. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhava tabis tabhirya eva nija rupatiya kalabi galoke vinivashati akilatma puto govindamadi purisham tamaham bhajami, which basically means Krishna, I mean the important part as far as this discussion is concerned, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So, and his associates like Uddhava never leave Vrindavan. So here's another subject matter for class. The third subject matter is that this also applies to devotees, and also as far as Akrura leaving Vrindavan, there's another explanation. He left Vrindavan to serve Krishna. This is a very important point. And then, and Krishna also left Vrindavan to conduct, I mean, from an external viewpoint. Krishna also left Vrindavan to do service, to serve his devotees. Interesting. So in one sense, another message we can get from this verse is that service to Krishna is non-different than living in Vrindavan. And also service to Krishna, in one sense, is on a higher platform than just staying in Vrindavan and cultivating one's internal relationship. And there's many examples of this. Of course, my favorite example is that of Srila Prabhupada. Now, Srila Prabhupada, when he left Vrindavan, he was advised by all the Babajis and everybody else, not everybody, but many of the people there, don't leave. The perfection of life is to die in Vrindavan. Yet Prabhupada, to serve his Guru Maharaj, left Vrindavan and to come to the West. Otherwise, we would not be here today. God knows where we would be. And not only that, but Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan when he was getting ready to pass away from this world. He was so intent on his service to his Guru Maharaj that even though it's described that he was just basically bones, his body, that is, his body was just bones, and just no flesh and bones, the Prabhupada just left. And he was carried. I was watching a video of this the other day when I was in Mexico. He was actually carried by Tamal Krishna Maharaj onto the plane. And when the devotees saw him in the UK, in Bhaktivedanta Manor, they were shocked. And, it just didn't look, his body didn't look like the way it did before. And Prabhupada couldn't speak that much at that particular point. You could see that he was getting ready to leave this world. But Prabhupada actually encouraged the devotees to dance. He was getting just so much joy seeing the devotees engage in devotional service. In this, there's a story told by Tamal Krishna Maharaj and others that there was a kirtan going on in the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and Prabhupada, basically extremely weak, but he motioned with his hands, dance, dance, and everybody started jumping up and down in ecstasy. And that was Prabhupada's final passing. Finally he was brought to Vrindavan to leave this world. And then you have Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who left this world in Calcutta. Interesting, isn't it? And Calcutta, he was advised by Gorgashodas Babaji Maharaj that Calcutta was a place of Kali. There's that whole story that Gorgashodas Babaji Maharaj had some problem with his eyesight. He was going blind. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had arranged for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to take him to Calcutta. And actually, first of all, Gorgashodas Babaji Maharaj didn't want to take service from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he said, I'll never go to that place of Kali, which is Calcutta. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was preaching at the end in Calcutta. And of course, they brought his transcendental body back on a train. And that was also a transcendental pastime, because as the train was going back to Navadvip, Mayapur, there was crowds of people everywhere the train went, and they were glorifying this great devotee. So that was a particular pastime. So oftentimes, devotees are lured to leave their services, at the ripe old age of 35, or sometimes even 25, to leave their service and just live in Vrindavan where they don't have any service. It's basically, like you say, chanting Hare Krishna is service. Yes, it is. Sometimes devotees go to the opposite extreme and say, I have service, I don't have time for chanting Hare Krishna. But chanting Hare Krishna is service. Try to understand we should be balanced in our approach. But many times that happens. The devotees go to Radhakund, and there's the Babajis. And of course, they have that whole philosophy that one advances, not that devotion, this is actually an interesting philosophical point, not that devotion is inherent, it's inherited. So the way you're going to get devotion is by, basically physical association with a great devotee. Now, of course, that's also very valuable. That's called vapu. But we have to understand that the vani, or the instructions of a pure devotee, are also non-different from the pure devotee. This is quite interesting. Like Srila Prabhupada, for example, he would sometimes give initiation, and even second initiation, by sending us a recording of the mantra. It's interesting, isn't it, to people? And some people, even some people in our movement, criticize that. They said, well, you have to be with the guru physically, like that. But also, sound vibration, as I experienced when I first heard the Hare Krishna mantra on the radio, can be carried through mechanical means. Why not? Because actually, even this body, yantra rudani maya, isn't it? It's a machine. So if I speak something, because I'm not saying I'm a devotee, but if, let's say, theoretically, if I was a devotee, if I say something, I'm saying something through this machine. The soul is using a machine. So if I use the machine or the radio or the, of course, tape recorders, can't say that nowadays, or MP3 player, anything like it, it's the same. So in other words, Vrindavan is actually there also. I'm not criticizing going to Vrindavan, obviously, but the sound vibration of the pure devotees, such as Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, is a manifestation of Vrindavan. If you listen very carefully to Prabhupada, you're actually transported to the spiritual world. And in your heart, you're actually, situated, your consciousness, when you're purified, what is it? Vishaya chayet shariya kabe, shuddha habe mana, kabe hama hi rabo Sri Vrindavan, isn't it? Narottamadas Thakur. Vishaya chariya kabe, shuddha habe mana, kabe hama hi rabo Sri Vrindavana. That actually Vrindavan becomes manifest when you're Vishaya chatiya kabe shuddha habe mana. When your mind is purified, when you get rid of all the impurities, then your real nature is manifest. And in the Jaiva Dharma, we actually find that Vijay Kumar and Brajanath, by performing devotional service, their real nature, according to whatever their ras is with Krishna, becomes manifest. It's not given by the guru. The guru actually facilitates, isn't it? He facilitates the understanding, but the understanding comes from the person. This is what Bhaktivinoda teaches in the Jaiva Dharma, that, the guru will see, what are you attracted to? I mean, this is a higher level. Don't worry. Don't come to me with this stuff. We'll say, what you're attracted. You said, I'm very attracted to the stones in Vrindavan. Okay, you're a stone in Vrindavan. And then, so he's reciprocating. It's not inherited. It's not given by someone. Of course, if we really analyze this, it's not given or it's inherent. It's actually a chincha veda veda tattva. It's one and different that, excuse me, that you actually do need the association of a great devotee to awaken it in the heart. You do need that. So you can also say, it's inherited in one sense. So it's like a false dichotomy to argue one or the other. You understand? To argue, well, it's inherent, it's inherited, because actually you do need a pure devotee, Pramana Ramate Kanda Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhag Bhakti Bhakti Bija, to awaken it. But that awakening is coming from sound vibration. Shusho Shraddhanasha Vasudeva Kataruchi. And that sound vibration, Prabhupada would say that needs to be heard from the lips of a pure devotee. And that's the holy name. And when you hear the holy name from the lips of the pure devotee, that awakens that. And then by concentrating on that sound vibration that you've received from the pure devotee and the instructions of the pure devotee, then you can go anywhere in the world. And that, for you, that's Vrindavan. If that happens to be your particular relationship. I mean, some people are Vaikuntha Vasis, which is fine, which means they go back to the Vaikuntha, get 4 arms and all sorts of things like that. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. But the point is, it gets revealed, and Vrindavan is revealed. And of course, we visit Vrindavan, but the whole point is that serve in separation. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left this world in Jagannath Puri. And Jagannath Puri is actually like a Vipralamba Dham, isn't it? Separation from Vrindavan. It's really interesting. So if we're feeling this intense mood of separation from Vrindavan, then we're always in Vrindavan, always concentrating. And so like Uddhava, okay, getting back to the point. So Uddhava left Vrindavan, but he was always thinking of the residents of Vrindavan, but he was leaving for service to Krishna. So there was no loss for Uddhava. So there's another angle of vision of this particular verse. So we have about 1 minute left. Any questions? Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's inherent, but it needs to be woken up by Krishna's associate. Like if Prabhupada hadn't woken it up in my heart, I don't say I have love for Krishna. That would be kind of... So there is some requirement of a pure devotee to wake it up. Jiv jago, gora chanda bole, kota nidra yao maya, pisa chira kole. It is inherent, just like a piece of wood has inherently, fire in it? It's like potential, it's inherent. And actually there was fire before, because the sun actually put the fire in the potential in the wood. And so, but you need someone to light a match. Actually, sometimes the wood scrapes itself. That's in the forest fire. So yeah, it is inherent for sure. But also there is requirement of the devotee to waken it up. So, yeah. But the Maha Mantra is actually given to everyone, but it's actually, one should hear it from the lips of a pure devotee. Prabhupada said, that's right. Some people might go to Mathura. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously Krishna. But our particular eternal nature is inherent. Whatever nature we have, whether it's the nature to be a coward boy or Vaikuntha or go to Mathura, and is woken up. And this is actually described by in the Jaiva Dharma by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because that nature was there in Brajanath and Vijay Kumar, and that nature was woken up by the association. So,
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataptam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Nandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrasya Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam
Purusham Aham Bhajami. Namam Sharam Satchit Ananarupa Lasat Kundalam Gokure Braja Manam. Yasodabeo Nukalad Davamanda Paramishdamat Yantagato Druchagopya. Rudantum Netra Yugvam Rishantam Karambojajug Menagutsatan Ganetram Yugvam Rishantam Karambojajug Menagosatanganetram Musasakambatre Rekankatahata Sitagravam Damodaram Bhaktibadam. Iti Driksadela Bir Ananda Kunege Sakosham Nimajantam Akyabayantam. Dade Sita Gesu Bhaktadi Tagatam Punat Prematas Tam Shachavriti Vande. Varam Deva Moksham Na Mokshavatim Vaha Nachanya Vinayam Varishad Opiha. Idam te vapor nata gopalabalam sadame manas yavirastam kimanyai. Hidam demokamajam achanta lelai Ritam kuntalai snigdaratais jagopya. Moschombitam bimba ratarurame Anasavirastam alam lakshalabai. Namo Devadamuda Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam. Kripa Tristi Vristati Dinambatanu Grahane Shamam Akyam Edyakshi Drisha. Kuveratma Jaubada Muchaiva Yadvahat Twayamuchitao Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha. Tata prema bhaktim swa kame priyatya no mokshe graho meste damodareha. Namaste stu dham nespo radiptidam nege twadiyodharayatha vishwas shadam ne. Namo Radhikaya Cha Priyaya Namo Nandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Priyaya Priyaya Namo Nandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Vishwaram Sachit Anandurupam Lasat Kunalam Gokule Rajamanam Lam Gokule Rajamanam Yasoda Biyo Lukala Dhammanam Paramristam Achantagato Drucha Gopya Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Jaya Radha Hey Lahu Rahu Ne Jaya Radha Hey Lahu Rahu Ne Jaya Radha Hey Jaya Radha Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Sri Radhe Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravadikacharya, all Sateta, Satashi, Shimad, His Divine Grace. Abhaya Charananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Saya Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Mathuram Ki Jai Jagadasami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasidevi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda, Hari Hari Bo. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. To the Supreme Controller, who possesses an eternal form, a blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from the rafters of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda, but was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick. And his mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes. He shivered in fright and his pearl necklace shook. To the Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, who is bound by his devotees' love, I offer my humble obeisances. Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drown the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who were attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan and Vaikuntha, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisances hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, you are although you able to give all kinds of benedictions. I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart. O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become reddened like bimba fruit due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind. O unlimited Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow and am almost like a dead man. Please shower the rain of mercy upon me, uplift me, and protect me with your nectarian vision. O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone with a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kubera, Manigriva, and Nalakuvara, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence. O Lord, the entire universe was created by Lord Brahma, who was born from your abdomen, which was bound with a rope by Mother Yashoda. To this rope I offer my humble obeisances. I offer my obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and to your unlimited pastimes. Lord Damodar ki jai.
Sarvasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi dordaiva midrishami hajjanina nuraga Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishuna amanina manadena kirtaniya vachahari nadanam najanam nasundarim havitam va jagadisha kamae mama vanini janmani ishvare bhavatad bhaktir hoitaki twai ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavandura. Got the parrots there. And I am good. Varanam Gadgada Hridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namicheha Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Hirahena Me Achlisha Vapadam Anastumam Adarshanam Marma Hataukarota Yatatata Vavinato Lambato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, rebirth, and death. This Sankirtan movement is a high benediction at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It is, it is the ocean of transcendental bliss. It is to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up